Welcome in everybody to a Thursday night edition of the Philly Guy Speaks. Joe Quills here with you, and uh, got a different camera look tonight because I'll get into that in a second. Got a lot to talk about here, catching up on my stories because I got a little backed up this week because I um, got you know things got changed around a little bit, so I decided, all right, well, we'll do it tonight. We'll do it Wednesday night instead of Tuesday night. I told you why. I was on Bleacher Brothers, and tonight is my usual night where I come on at 10 o'clock Eastern. Got some updates for you as well because um, I'll give you an update of tomorrow afternoon as well. So big news is that didn't rain much here in Philadelphia today. So I don't know if it actually did rain down at the ballpark, but if you follow me on Twitter at Joe Quills, you will know that Philly's a pretty big city. And, we could say, relatively speaking, it's a big city, but where I am in Philadelphia is about 10 to 12 miles away. And if you were to go to the ballpark from my house in one straight shot, um, especially this time of the year, you may have four seasons day. I mean, it could be sunny here and it could be a downpour down there, or vice versa. I mean, you could have rain down at the ballpark and snow outside my window. I mean, that's sometimes what a difference of a couple of miles can do. And but we are set to go for Friday afternoon baseball down at the ballpark. Phillies and the Braves. Um, Phillies and Braves open up the season a day late, but that's okay. But you know, a lot of people will have off because I guarantee you, and this will probably get me into trouble already. Just 4.5 minutes into the show, I guarantee you that there's a lot of fake Catholics out there that are taking advantage of the day off. And before you say, wait a second, didn't you go to a Catholic high school and a Catholic grade school and all that? Yeah. Um, and I personally believe religion is a good way to give kids a moral compass, even if it's just for 6 years, 8 years, 12 years, like I did. Well, actually, it was like 15 because I went to college at a Catholic university at first. But, um, you don't have to necessarily go to church every Sunday. But, you can have a good moral compass of knowing what the Ten Commandments are, knowing good from bad and stuff like that. But, we're not going to get too much into religion. Um, but I guarantee you that there's a lot of people out there here in Philadelphia have the day off tomorrow because even me, I have the day off tomorrow, and it'll be a great day. And for those that are watching after the fact, whether it's on YouTube or here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Joe Quills, we are going to do a sidecast of the Phillies game tomorrow. And that will be a 3 o'clock start. I'll probably start the stream around 2:45ish. And, we'll just shoot the S and talk some baseball. We had opening day today. Baltimore beat the living crap out of the LA Angels. You have the Cubs in Texas going on right now. I got a wager on the Cubs right now. We also got NCAA action, and right now I got the baseball game playing on my phone here, right underneath me, and on the big screen right now I have North Carolina and Alabama. Uh, North Carolina is up 4 right now. Wait, how many points are they up right now? That's right, 4 points. UConn won big over San Diego State. Even more of a blowout than it was last year in the national championship game. And Clemson upset Arizona. So if your brackets have not been destroyed, they probably are now. But um, but we'll be live tomorrow afternoon with a Phillies sidecast opening day, and probably go from about 3 to 6. The reason why I said it may happen was because I didn't know what Tony Bruno was doing, and I would rather watch his show than do one of my own shows. But this will be a live show, the typical sidecast stuff that we do. And who knows, maybe at the end of the day, who knows, maybe we get a 4 or 5 hour game, and maybe I get to raid somebody, which would be cool. So we got a lot to talk about here coming up here, catching up on stories here. I'll give you my thoughts on the whole Ohtani thing. And if you know, when there's other controversies in sports, my argument is where there's smoke, there's fire. So that'll be there. I got one more women's college basketball story, and it's a bit of a goofy one, because yesterday we had a couple of stories in a row which were really crappy stories. This is more along the lines of more towards the stupid stuff that I saw type stories that I like to have every once in a while. I'll tell you about that. Remember those missing Yarmir Yager bobblehead dolls? Well, they were found. They weren't found. Oh, no, I'm not going to go with that joke. Sorry, I will get kicked off of I'll get off of kicked off of Twitch with that one, even though they did tell a joke like that on Bleacher Brothers. They did find the bobbleheads, and the Caps and Wizards announced a stadium deal, and it's not to Virginia. And a Sixer may be coming back soon. So we'll try to jam that all in for you here tonight. And, if you're listening on the audio or you're watching after the fact, come on over. Twitch.tv/Joe Quills. Very interactive. It's just that, I don't force you to interact with me, but it's nice to do so. And Don is here tonight again. Welcome aboard. Very interactive. You chat. I read. I show my hooked on phonics skills. And we have some fun here. So, and I crack a joke or two, And I even filter myself from telling one that'll get me kicked off of Twitch, because I know somebody will have their panties in a bunch with the topic I could have gone with. But if you want to go to Bleacher Brothers, the Bleacher Brothers YouTube, about an hour 20 in, they told a not so good joke. Let's just say it was too soon. But anyways, let's get to it here tonight, and keeping an eye on it, keeping an eye down to my desk here, because I got the game on, and I got the game on the TV here. And I'm also going to keep an eye on the Iowa State-Illinois game. There was a tip from the stream on Tuesday night that if there's a wager to play for tonight's game, which starts in about one minute, so hurry if you can get it in. First half, Iowa State, because Illinois always plays slow, and they always start off slow in the first half. So Iowa State is a half a point favorite, so you're basically playing a pick 'em in that regard. So, but I'll try to keep track of everything going on here, and I'll even have my soundboard going, and this.
Who the fuck is that guy?
All that fun stuff. So, anyways, let's get to it here. And this is a story that popped up last week. And, the jokes are going left and right on this. Even Pete Rose said that he wished he had a translator in the 80s. Now, is that an admission that he bet on baseball? Even when he was playing? Now, they never investigated Pete Rose for They never investigated Pete Rose as a player, but I will tell you that, and I would leave it vague because we don't know. I would say that it is possible that Rose bet on baseball as a player too, but he did bet as a manager for the Reds, so it wouldn't surprise me. But you know, we'll just leave it at that. And we're not going to get into should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose not be in the Hall of Fame, because I will say no, because the rules have been there as old as time. And, maybe it's Don, maybe it's somebody else that'll come into the room. They'll say, oh no, Pete Rose should still be in the Hall of Fame. Hey, that's an argument for another day. I just, he's probably going to get into the Hall of Fame posthumously. And with the Asian wife that he has, or girlfriend, or whatever she is, I guarantee you she's going to keep him alive another 20 years. Uh, but as we all know, Shohei Ohtani, his interpreter got fired. And it's labeled as massive theft. And you hear all different things. It was like, oh, he gave $500,000, wired $500,000 and put it as loan, for example, and all that. So, who knows what's going on? And I'm a firm believer where there's smoke, there's fire. And when it's black smoke, it's not good because the fire is raging. And when it's white smoke, it's good because we got a new pope. I shouldn't say that because the pope is actually actually not in the best of health. I mean, he's still alive, but you just wonder how long that pope will be around. But the whole Shohei thing, I'm still trying to make odds and ends of all this. And I probably shouldn't say odds and ends because Shohei might like a horse at the race I'm going to be writing about tomorrow for tomorrow's Oaklawn race. And I know we're joking around about it, but you got to be careful because you never know. Shohei's interpreter might hear it and then get his lawyer after me because did you say Shohei bets on horse racing? Well, he can actually do that, but I mean, he could go, especially since Santa Anita is open tomorrow. He could go to Santa Anita if he really wanted to, especially if if the Dodgers don't have a game tomorrow. And I don't know if they have a game tomorrow. I guess they might because they are playing I don't even know who they played St. Louis. That's right. So that may be a 4-game series where they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the reason why you do those, why you give the day off after the scheduled home openers, because of today. You have a rain out or an alleged rain out. I don't know if it was really a rain out because, like I said earlier, I'm in a totally different part of Philadelphia from where the stadium is, and it could have poured here and not rain there, and vice versa. And I got so ensconced with work once the second half of my day started when the game would have been on. And I was also watching the Baltimore game because I had money on it. So, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be watching and see if it's actually raining outside my door. And I think it was like a light drizzle, which could have been playable, but But I will tell you right now, and this is something John Belarus would not do, because it might have been those Russian girlfriends that he had when he got roofied a few years back. And the Cubs took a 3-2 lead. Yes, I got money on the Cubs tonight, by the way. I am declaring a hurricane warning on the third base side of Citizens Bank Park in the 300 level. because I can tell you that I had season tickets from 2009 to 2015 or 2016, somewhere in that range. And I can tell you for a fact that that little section on but we're in the upper deck, it is a wind tunnel, and it is impossible to walk towards the Packer Avenue side of the stadium, where the big escalator is, and or towards the scoreboard. So I'm declaring a hurricane warning for tomorrow at the ballpark. So be careful if you're in the 300 level on the third base side. But back to Shohei here. Shohei's interpreter was fired last week. After questions about at least $4.5 million in wire transfers sent from Ohtani's bank account to a bookmaking operation set off a series of events. Now, one thing to remember for those that are not sure, and I'm actually going to do one thing as well. I'm going to do a service to my boy AJ in a couple of minutes here. If you want to open up a sports betting account, and mind you, I will tell you right now, just because because it will help Bleacher Brothers, I'll just tell you right now, bet within your means. I always tell you that when I do my version of 1-800-GAMBLER. If I have to do an actual promo, I will actually do the 1-800-GAMBLER thing. But I will tell you more of that. But and this is where I will say, you got to know when to stop. But $4.5 million in Meyer transfers. Ippei Mitsuhara incurred the gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation as under federal investigation, multiple sources told ESPN. Now, remember, California does not have sportsbook gambling at all. So anything that you do that's sports wagering in California is illegal gambling or illegal, because the one thing I will tell you when it comes to anything that's illegal, it's only illegal if you get caught. If you're doing something that's illegal, finger quotes, you're just doing it under the table. But now, how the interpreter lost his job started with asking questions about the wire transfers. Initially, a spokesman for Ohtani said the slugger had transferred the funds to cover Mitsuhara's gambling debt, during which Mitsuhara laid an account in great detail, which was a Tuesday night interview, which was the Tuesday before the Korea games last week. ESPN prepared to publish a story on Wednesday. The spokesman disavowed Mitsuhara's account and said Ohtani's lawyers would issue a statement. In the course of responding to recent media inquiries, they discovered that Shohei had been the victim of a massive theft, and they were turning it over to authorities. When asked if he had been accused of theft, Mitsuhara said he was told he could not comment, but declined to say by whom. Federal investigators are examining an operation run by Southern California bookmaker Matthew Boyer. At least I think that's pronounced Boyer. It may be Bauer, but I'll say Boyer for this case. Multiple sources said Ohtani does not gamble and that the funds covered Mitsuhara's losses. Now, Ohtani may be telling the truth here, for all we know. And, you could joke around all you want about that. I know I'm joking around about it. I said joking around on Bleacher Brothers I said on the Tony Bruno show, I think on Monday while I was working. I said, yeah, if we hurry up, Ohtani can bet on the first race of Yonkers. But, yeah, so there's about 40 states or or ESPN reviewed bank accounts showing Otani's name on two $500,000 payments sent in September and October. Like I said, it's illegal in California. Government-related sports books require bettors to pay up front for their wagers, while legal bookmakers accept bets on credit. So, that's one of the good things about sportsbook gambling being legal in the United States is, like for example, Pennsylvania, where I'm at, I mean, the sports books have to be associated with a casino. So, um, you got, you get to fund the account and then boom, you wager away. And whereas, the illegal bookmakers, you don't pay up, you get your legs broken by Vinny Boombots or whoever it is. But now, sources close to the tie game in Texas, unbelievable. Phillies legend Travis Jankowski with the homer. And, the way I use a Philly sports team and legend, it is sarcasm, by the way. So, Boyer dealt directly with Mitsuharu, who placed bets on international soccer matches and other sports, but not baseball, starting in 2021. A source said Boyer was aware of the name on the wire transfers, but chose not to ask questions as long as the payments came in. However, the source said Boyer allowed people to believe Ohtani was a client in order to boost business. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here. And supposedly Rob Manfred is looking into this, and I think, and I have to look back at what MLB allows for sportsbook gambling. Now, obviously, you're not allowed to bet baseball. That's a no-no, no matter if it's legal or illegal. But I think you can still be suspended for illegal sportsbook gambling. It's just that you may not get it. You may just be, you just may be, I think it's a 1 year suspension as opposed to a lifetime ban for betting on baseball. Boyer's attorney Diane Bass said Boyer never met or spoke with Shohei Ohtani. She declined to answer other questions. Mitsuharu told ESPN that he asked Ohtani last year to pay off his gambling debt, which multiple sources said had ballooned to at least $4.5 million. Mitsuharu said he previously had placed bets via DraftKings and assumed bets placed through Boyer was legal. Now, it kind of makes sense, if he is from Japan. I mean, I don't know if he is or not, but I don't know everything about Mitsuharu, but, it may be. And I have no clue what that was. But, but anyways, I'm just clearing out some of my browser stuff here because I have no clue what that sound was from, but, it is what it is, so. Okay. Here it is, because I was questioning what MLB is allowed to do. MLB players and employees are allowed to bet on sports other than baseball, but not with illegal bookmakers or offshore websites. And part of that is because these different apps like BetMGM, BetRivers, DraftKings, FanDuel, you name it, they have software in place where you can actually track everything. If there's anything that's funky going on, you can report it, to the state, that the bets are being placed in or anything like that, you can get it investigated right away. But so bets placed with the legal bookmakers are subject to punishment at the commissioner's discretion. So that's a thing that's worthy of keeping in mind. Um, um, Mitsuhara said, I never bet on baseball. I know that rule. We have a meeting about that every spring training. Federal authorities learned of Ohtani's wire payments in January as part of the investigation into Boyer's bookmaking operation. Now, in the comments, it was Shohei Ohtani, Otani, which is his legal name. Um, um, Now, Mitsuhara met Boyer at a San Diego poker game in 21, starting betting with him on credit. Mitsuhara said on last week, Ohtani logged into his own computer and sent a wire transfer under Mitsuhara's supervision in installments over several months last year. They added loan to the description field in the transaction, which seems a little weird to me. Because I don't know if it's to Mitsuhara. Mitsuhara was going, but the reason why he did a wire transfer as opposed to just giving cash is because he didn't trust him with the money. He didn't want Mitsuhara to gamble it away. Mitsuhara said they would pay Ohtani back. But now there's all kinds of weird things that are going on here, and but Boyer's operation is being investigated by the same U.S. Attorney's Office, handling a sprawling federal money laundering and illegal gambling case in Vegas that drew in former minor league baseball player Wayne Nix. He became a bookmaker in California. He pled guilty to conspiring to operate a illegal sports gambling business and filing a false tax return. Now, Ohtani said that Mitsuhara had been stealing money and had been telling lies through his new interpreter. On a personal note, I'm very sad and shocked that someone who had been trusted has done this. He had notes prepared in Japanese in a black folder. Cameras were not allowed. Ohtani said through the new interpreter, I never bet on baseball or any other sports or never have asked somebody to do that on my behalf. I never went through a bookmaker to bet on sports up until a couple of days ago. I didn't know that this was happening. So, I don't know. There's so many loose ends here that I see, and I'm just skimming through this article. The first time Ohtani learned about gambling, he said, was when Mitsuhara addressed the Dodgers after their opening game in South Korea. Ohtani has not been accused of gambling at any point, and none of the bets or believed to have been made on baseball, a circumstance that would lead to a permanent ban from the sport. And like I said, California doesn't have legalized sports betting. Legal bookmakers operate outside gambling regulations, even in states where it's legal. But, there's so much going on there that I don't know what's going on as well. So I haven't heard anything new, and I probably just missed it. But sometimes these stories, you don't hear anything for a couple of months. Like, for example, the Wander Franco story. I just got lucky on Twitter today, and Jeff Passan reported that and Franco is on leave until June 1st, I believe. I thought I saw, and that is because of the the predatory behavior he had with a young girl in the Dominican Republic. But they haven't. You know, I mean, we forgot about it most of the winter, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's back on that list because the season's underway. But you could. I mean, you could hear something about the whole Wander Franco thing tomorrow, or you might not hear anything until June 1st. But going back to the Ohtani thing, you may not hear anything for a couple of months, or you may hear something next week that's of importance. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on this. I'm going to try to still make heads or tails over this. Hopefully, Ohtani doesn't bet on heads or tails. I'm joking around with that, but you get the idea. But I'm looking to see what happened here. I mean, I get the feeling right now, even though Japan is big on horse racing, I just think that he did not bet on baseball. I don't think he bet at all, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And unlike Pete Rose, you knew that he bet on other sports. I mean, you could see him at the racetrack all the time. I mean, he was at Santa Anita. He was at Tampa Bay Downs when he was a player. I'm sure he went to parks. Jason Beam, who's a podcast I follow, he told stories about how he was, GWK, long time no talk, man. How's it going? But, right now, and I will tell you, I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. We're just going to wait and see. And I will gladly say, all right, I'm glad he didn't bet, or he did or he didn't. But, but the one thing is, horse racing is big in Japan. And they even had their own leg to the they had their own road to the Triple Crown, where the top earner in points does get a berth into the Kentucky Derby if they want to come over for the race. So in the last few years they have done that. So, but I wouldn't be surprised either way if he did or he didn't. But the one thing I will tell you, if there's smoke, there's fire. And you just gotta wait here. We gotta wait to see if the smoke is black, or something's burning, or something is the smoke is white, which means that it's almost over. But whatever it is, we gotta make sure that everything, make sure MLB does their due diligence and investigates this, because they need to investigate it, because millions of dollars are being sent, and they said it was, they said it's not, and so we'll see. And just give me an update on the basketball scores from my screen here. North Carolina is up 51-46 with about a minute in the first half, and Illinois is up 16-9 on Iowa State. Of course, I decided to listen to somebody on Bleacher Brothers the other night. But, so let's go on. And this was a story that I missed last night because we were heavy on women's college basketball, shockingly. But this is one of those strange stuff stories that I talk about every once in a while. And this happened in the first round of the NCAA tourney last week. An NCAA official had to be removed from the game because of a background conflict. Tommy Paris, Tommi if you're asking, was removed from the NCAA tournament first round game and was replaced by Angelica Suffren, who had worked the first game at the site. and that was in Raleigh, North Carolina at NC State. Why was she switched? Well, she didn't reveal to her superiors or whatever they do, but they found out through an online profile, either LinkedIn or Facebook, I would imagine, that she received a master's degree from Tennessee Chattanooga, which was the team that was playing in this game that she was officiating. So you had a conflict of interest there. They found out about it. How it slipped through the cracks, I don't know. But they did the best. They did the right thing. They said, all right, well, we got to remove you because you shouldn't have been doing this game. Probably should have been doing the first game if they would have known. And Angelica Suffren did the second half of this game and did the first game as well. But every game does have, especially in the postseason, you do have a alternate ref on site. So let's say Tommy Paris blew out her knee, God forbid, the alternate referee would take over, but they decided to use that referee that was in the first game instead. The Chattanooga coach, Sean Poppy, said, they really just got me in the locker room and said, we're making a change. I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. Suffren worked the Green Bay, Tennessee matchup, University of Green Bay versus Tennessee Volunteers. She was on the court for second half of Chattanooga, NC State. Danielle Jackson had been listed as a game standby official. But the decision to send Suffren back out to the court came because it provided the most on-court experience and allowed the game to maintain a full officiating crew. So somewhere along the line, that slipped through the cracks, and they had to do the right thing. And unfortunately, a scene was made where, well, not a scene like get out, nothing like that, but enough to say, hey, you're taking the second half out. She's going in for you. So yeah, they did have a little faux pas there. Now, as we go to the police blotter, so to speak, last week or 2 weeks ago, I mentioned those Jaromir Jagr bobblehead dolls. And we did mention on the Bleacher Brothers show earlier tonight. And I actually have more information than our hockey guy, Luch on Ice. Apparently, I have more information than he did, and maybe he just found something and just made a random note. He probably knew more, whatever. But the missing bobbleheads, Jaromir Jagr's bobbleheads, they're no longer missing. The Penguins announced Monday they have secured the missing shipment of bobblehead dolls that the team have reported stolen on March 14th. According to business operations Kevin Acklin, the team notified last week that a special cargo recovery team negotiated the return of the stolen property to a secure warehouse located in Ontario, California. So, I don't know if these were bobbleheads that they got off of Wish, because Wish is a Chinese cheap company. I use Temu. Temu's basically the same thing, but I've had no problem with Temu so far. But I joke around that they shouldn't have used Wish. But the truckload of Jagr bobbleheads arrived in Pittsburgh on Monday, and they're expected to be delivered to PPG Paints Arena within the next week. I guess they got to clear customs officially. But the team learned it was the victim of cargo theft after a failed shipment of Yager bobblehead dolls. That was supposed to be in a game against the San Jose Sharks on March 14th. The manufacturer and transportation companies alerted state and federal authorities, blah, blah, blah. Now, the fans have received a voucher. The fans who attended the game received vouchers with a one-time scannable barcode to receive a Yager bobblehead at a later date. The team said the recovered bobbleheads will be given to fans holding these vouchers for the April 6th game against the Lightning, and on April 7th, when the team holds a drive-through pickup option at PPG Paints Arena between 10 and 2. So Pittsburgh fans will be happy. You know, they'll be getting their bobbleheads, and you know, I have my share over there. You know, I got Chase Utley, I got Mike Schmidt, I got Kirk Herbstreit. I got through a Coke promotion when we used to have those Coke caps. I got a Donald Duck one. I actually stole that from my sister because she never used it. I got a Harry and Whitey bobblehead. You know, I got a couple of men over there. So it's all part of the background effect that I have here. So, and just a reminder, I will be live tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock or around 3 o'clock for the Phillies and Braves. I'm going to do a side cast of the game. We'll just shoot the crap and, you know, we'll just talk and talk about the game and talk about Phillies and Braves and anything you want to talk about. You know, it'll be a totally open experience for everybody who wants to join in, and hopefully we can get enough, because I'm 8 followers short of 50. That'll get me into the affiliate status of Twitch, where I could, if I wanted to, you know, get some money here and there from that. But you know, but I'll be live about 3 o'clock. Got an off day from work tomorrow because of the holiday. I'm sorry, holiday. It's a union negotiated holiday because of Easter being this weekend. But I'll be live and we'll be having some fun doing that game. So on to hockey. Well, hockey and basketball at once. A couple of months ago, the owner of the Capitals and Wizards had announced that they were going to be moving to Arlington, Virginia. Well, scratch that idea, because he played Arlington, Virginia for a pawn. And of course, the governor blamed it on the Democrats, and he's a Republican governor, and, you know, whatever. You know, I couldn't care less about, you know, who did what. But the Wizards and the Capitals are going to be staying in D.C. for the long term after ownership, and the city reached an agreement on a $515 million arena project. And think of it like the Wells Fargo Center right now. They did a major rehab of the building. I haven't been in there since they finished up. I was last in there a couple of years ago, and you know, I have to go to a game down there. Probably won't be until next year, but the way that they're talking about here, it's a $515 million arena project. The mayor of Washington, D.C., and the owner, Ted Leonsis, however you pronounce it, they signed a letter of intent on Wednesday for the deal, which will keep the teams in D.C. through 2050. They announced the development at a joint news conference at the Cap One Arena minutes later. The project is going to include 200,000 square feet of expansion of the arena complex into the nearby Gallery Place space, the creation of an entertainment district in the city's surrounding Chinatown neighborhood, and the safety and transportation upgrades. So think of it as what the Phillies did over the last couple of weeks. The Phillies and the Flyers announced that they're going to be building up making like an entertainment district out of part of the complex there. And some of the people are saying that I had seen said, "Well, you're not seeing the Eagles in on this." Well, you're seeing the Eagles like you're seeing this much of the picture to the lower right hand side. Well, the Eagles aren't in on the deal. They have their own little thing going, but it's like the Phillies and the Flyers. I'm sure if the Eagles wanted to get into it and join in on it, they could because they all share the same thing. But I'm imagining it's something like that, and so they're going to be building building up their complex there. We are the current and future home of the Washington Capitals and Washington Wizards, the mayor said. As Ted likes to say, we're going to be together for a long time. So, and of course, they give you the speak of the outcome will have significant positive impacts on economic development, public safety, and overall district energy and spirit generated, blah, blah, blah. The Council of D.C. will take up the deal next week and is expected to pass it, which means taxpayer dollars, which nobody will like. So they're getting 200 square feet. It's not the 12 acres they wanted, but it's enough. But the Virginia governor is pissed because they wanted them in Virginia. They had a big tract of land that they could have used, but they are staying in D.C. And one last thing here, one last story that I planned. Feel free to shoot an idea here as I'm peeking at the game here. Cubs have the bases loaded right now. Or I'm sorry, the Rangers do. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I broke down the standings with the Sixers. And the Sixers are going to be somewhere in the play-in, most likely. We think. But where exactly, we don't know. We'll find out with these last 10 games or so. But Joel Embiid is likely to be back before the end of the season. And if that's the case, that's going to help the Sixers a lot. I mean, because, like, for example, with last night's loss, they're 13-26 when Embiid does not play, but when he does play, the Sixers are 26-8. Now, granted, he's always come up small in the playoffs, whether it's him, whether you want to blame him, you want to blame him and Maxey, or you want to blame him, Maxey, and Harden, or you want to blame Ben Simmons and whoever was playing with Joel Embiid at the time. Okay, I get it. But you know what? This is a totally different situation than what the Sixers have had over the last couple of years. And, the only problem is you get the 8th seed, you get Boston, you're going to lose. The number 2 seed, I believe, will be Milwaukee right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that here. Where are you at? There you are. And I know that makes great podcasting with me just not talking there for about 30 seconds. The Bucks are 2, the Knicks are 3, but the Knicks are coming on strong. But do not be surprised. I mean, if the Sixers could get out of this play-in situation, which they're probably not, they're probably going to be one and done. But it's not going to be your typical 1 versus 8 situation. Because if you think about it, Bank Boy, welcome in. And thankfully, once again, thanks for that retweet. I did see you retweet that when I sent that initial tweet about tonight's show. Thank you so much. Now, Joel Embiid had that injury on January 30th. His knee had already been bothering him. And Jonathan Kuminga inadvertently fell on his leg in the fourth quarter. Well, not only did he fall on his knee, he also used the other leg and accidentally did a cup check on him. He did the Hulk Hogan leg drop on his testicles. And Embiid hasn't been back since, but he is 7 weeks removed from surgery. Sixers coach Nick Nurse expressed optimism yesterday that Joel Embiid will be back on the court before the end of the regular season. And that's a loser for me. Texas wins 4-3, so let me give myself one of those. But now Nick Nurse thinks that there's a very good likelihood that he will return before the play-in and the playoffs. So the more games you can get the rust off of Embiid, that would be good. The only problem is you're going to get the Knicks, or you're either going to get the Knicks or the you're either getting the Knicks or the Bucks as a 2 seed, or you're getting the 1 seed Boston, which does not look good. But you can put a scare into them, hopefully. And and that's the thing. These injuries happen, but Embiid hasn't played since January 30th, like I said, against Golden State. Sixers have gone 10-16, the 10th best record in the East over that span, and they've fallen through the standings. They've fallen into the play-in tournament mix in the Eastern Conference. Now, Embiid had been scoring at 35.3 points a game, which is a crazy number. But, when you're, and I think that the new rules that they have, for example, the NBA, the MVP awards and those other season-ending awards, I think it played a part in it as well, because it's like, I have to get out there. I have to play. I have to prove everybody wrong that I can play 65 games so I can earn this MVP. And he was on his way. There's no doubt about it. It's just that something freak happens where a guy falls on your leg, and then he does the leg drop on your testicles to make it even worse. But, I don't know about you, but in a way, I mean, you're in a no-win situation if you're the Sixers. Because I think they do at their first-round draft pick. I didn't look it up. But let's say they do. Let's say you don't make the field of 16. You got a crappy chance of winning the lottery, even though it has happened before. But, I don't see it happening. And I would not be surprised if you see the Sixers get in. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that they pull off an upset, but I wouldn't be surprised either that the Sixers either don't make it in because they lose either the 9-10 game or the 7-8 game and then play the winner of the 9-10 game and lose. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens either, because a lot of times nothing surprises me. And now, he is 7 weeks removed from his injury, as I mentioned, on the lateral meniscus in his left knee. Nurse had reiterated there's no timetable, but did say that Embiid continues to do on-court work. Nurse has talked to him, FaceTimed him, blah, 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 but he hasn't met with him in person. He's on the court, and as you guys know, we still don't have a timeline for his return. I would imagine he's getting better each day. It's just trying to get him strong and confident in shape and ramped up and all these wonderful words. Nurse Saturday will provide an update when Embiid progresses to contact practice and other steps in the potential return to the court. You know, you can see how important Embiid is to this team. And my friend SJ will said it numerous times. Sixers need a third superstar. They only have two. Um, and James Harden wanted out of Philly for whatever reason. Maybe because he just doesn't like the strip clubs here in Philly or whatever. But whatever happened, because Harden came back to town. I didn't really watch the game because I was keeping track of the Bleacher Brothers show, and the game actually started when I was it started at 7:30 as I was just completing work. So I didn't have the TV up either, so I didn't really hear the fans booing him or whatever they were doing during the game. But it would have been a lot more fun if Embiid was in the game, was playing, hadn't been injured. Would Embiid, would he take a flagrant foul on Harden because Harden wanted out of Philly? And that's the one thing. You can want out of Philly, but the way that Harden wanted out of Philly was not. It was really insulting to the fans, the way he said everything he said. If you got a beef with management, then keep it within management. Don't make it into an event like he did with the when he was doing I believe it was a shoe endorsement appearance in China, or as Trump would say, China. But yeah, I'm just glad Embiid's gone. Because you knew it was going to happen. Like any fan, you hope that he isn't going to do the same stuff over and over again, and he did it again. So, and I would imagine that, because LA's been struggling, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls it again, but the problem is, where do you go? Oh, I don't want to play in LA anymore. Send me here. You're not going to go there because they're not going to want you. Who in their right mind will want you when you pull the same thing over and over and over again? It's like the boy that cried wolf. He cried wolf so many times that when he cried wolf, nobody answered him. So I think that's probably what's going to happen here if he were to be traded again. But, there's too many, Clippers were, oh my God, they're going to win the championship. And they might, you never know. But they've been falling through the standings as well. But, so my big news tonight is I can confirm, because I did talk about it briefly yesterday. I am definitely doing a side cast of the Phillies home opener. Probably going to open up the stream a couple of minutes before 3 o'clock. And we'll just have some fun, talk some crap, make fun of the Braves. And I'm sure people will make fun of the Phillies as well, which is fine. And, and hopefully the Phillies will bring home an opening day win. And just to let you know, the third base side on the 300 level, I have declared a hurricane warning because being on that side of the field, whenever the day after a storm and you have the high winds from the northwest, it is a wind tunnel in that area of the stadium. So, but we'll see what happens here, and we'll go from there. So let me just see one thing here before. So, oh yeah, there was one thing I wanted to do. And I want to pull up the Bleacher Brothers site here for you because um, if you're in a state that allows sportsbook gambling, um, you could hit one of our ads, and if you want to open a new account, I'm not forcing you to, but if you hit one of our ads, we can actually um, um, get a little money here and there. So let me go here, website, and yes, you're looking at a black screen. I know, because I forgot all about this. So, oh, crud. Hold on. Let's try this again. There we go. So there we are. We're on the Bleacher Brothers site here. And what you would need to do, first of all, check this because, we got the sports tickers on there now. We have different things like MLB. And that's not good because that's one of my starting pitchers on my fantasy team. We have all these different ads that come up, and there's my horse racing articles, Quills Picks Winners. Another second place finish by yours truly. But if you go to the sports page, or to the betting section there, there's the different articles. And if you're in North Carolina, we've been pushing North Carolina viewers and listeners because they have special promos that are geared towards North Carolina. Bet365, MGM, FanDuel. Now, some of these promotions may not be available in your area. So, like for example, Bet365 is not available. Better is not available in my area. But in this bottom section of this portion of the page, you see FanDuel, you see BetMGM, you see BetRivers, you see Bet365, which is not available in Pennsylvania. Whether it's in New Jersey, I don't know. I know GWK is in New Jersey. But as I go back over here, so the only thing you have to do, if you go hit the link here, like for example, Better, you just go on there, it's going to just tell you to scan that app. So, that's what they'll do. And I did research on this. It's not available. That's parlays and stuff like that, what they do. Bet365, you click on that. If you're in one of these 11 states, New Jersey is one of them. If you clicked on one of those, or 10 states, I should say, all other states, like for example, if I wanted Bet365, I would put my email address in, and I would get notified. I got enough apps now, so I'm not going to do that. If you go to BetRivers, you get a second chance bet up to $500. But you got to use the code SPORTS. Just click on there, you click the state that you're in, and boom, you're pretty much set with that for a $500 second chance bet. Now, BetRivers, I can tell you, has numerous states that are involved here. Like, for example, if you're in Delaware, you can open an account. You just can't use this promotion, obviously, because when you look at this promotion, the promotion's available in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. If you're If you're in Delaware, for example, they have it through Delaware Park and Harrington, but they don't have this promotion. So, um, BetMGM, I opened an account last night, um, and I placed my first wager this afternoon. You get paid back up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet doesn't win, and as long as you're not Tom Brady, you can go in on this. So I signed up and I played my first wager, which was a winner. I had Baltimore giving a run and a half. They won 11-3 today, I believe. So you just hit sign up, and you just follow everything from there. So it's very simple. And Bet Rivers, BetMGM, FanDuel, Bet365, you do so, and we get a referral payment there as well. Um, so I just wanted to show you that, and even though I will tell you, for example, sign up, sign up, sign up if you don't have an account already. But I will tell you, always bet within your means, you know, and that's the great things about these these uh, these these apps and online accounts. Even though you can go back crap crazy and put in like $5,000 and then you emptied your bank account. I don't encourage that. It's okay to bet $5, $10. Like, even when I talk about horse racing, and we were talking about it, um, I think I was talking about when I was on the Bleacher Brothers show on Tuesday night. I said it's okay to bet $2. I might even said in my article, it's okay that you bet the minimum. And I am going to be writing an article this weekend, and I'm going to let AJ decide when to post it. Probably, I'll just let him read and say, hey, whenever you want to do it, if you just want to wait till Kentucky Derby week, so we can have like a Bleacher Brothers 101 on horse racing. Just like some of the little things, but we'll put it in Bleacher Brothers terms, even though I'm probably got the most brains of the people. But I'm not saying that as a bad thing or an egomaniacal thing. But we all bring our own attributes to Bleacher Brothers. But I would recommend checking out Bleacher Brothers. And if you're looking to open a new account, go to bleacherbrothers.com, hit that betting tab. You got to scroll down. I apologize for that, but once you get into that section I showed you, boom, you're all set. And like my first wager with BetMGM was a winner, so I didn't get my money back. I got the winnings from the wager. And like I said with like TBG, we're going to be like with TBG, I joke around and say I suck at the money back features because my horses always win. Well, my horses haven't been winning lately, but it is what it is. So, check out bleacherbrothers.com. Apparently, AJ likes to publish my articles around 11 o'clock in the morning in that 11 o'clock hour for the most part, which is fine because usually the races don't go off until 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the earliest. Like today's was a 5:55 race at Oaklawn Park in Arkansas, and tomorrow's race will be at Oaklawn Park as well. So check bleacherbrothers.com for all your horse racing needs and also all your sports needs. I'm going to be doing one race tomorrow, which I've been doing. But I admit I have a severe case of second-itis right now, and I had another second today. I didn't even watch the race because, I was on my last break from work, and I ran down to see if I had mail, and then I went back up, and I was getting my my coffee that I have. It's on my last break of work, just so I can get through the last couple of hours and have me pepped up for this, for example. But and then I yawn. Go figure. But I forgot all about the race. I'm sitting here. It's about 6:05, 6:10. I'm like, oh, I forgot about the race. I looked. My pick finished second. And I was like, and I'm thinking in my head, once again, loser. But check out Bleacher Brothers, and if you want to check out my articles, just follow me on Twitter, uh, on Threads, on Instagram at Joe Quills. I've been quiet on Instagram for the most part. What I've been doing mostly with Instagram is just posting goofy things on my Insta stories. Like today, yeah, I mean, let me just go through what I looked at over the last couple of hours. I'll just sit there and watch things. Like for example, I shared last night. 7-Eleven announced a new hot dog flavored sparkling water. Ugh. Um, there's one of me pretending I'm Kelly Oubre, where I'm telling the referees that they're all bitches because I lost that bet. Happy opening day. A guy's taking a swing in a batting cage and the ball bounces up and hits him in the testicles. Guys going into the Diamond Club box at Citizens Bank Park. Um, Bank Boy asks, who came up with that sparkling water idea? Who knows? But, I can tell you one thing, my Instagram stories, they may once in a while get offensive. Like I even have one where a girl gets farted on and like her hair goes like that. I think it's a little overdone, but I mean, who came up with that? I don't know. Probably somebody was joking around. And Alabama is taking the lead 59-57 over North Carolina. Go Tide. I got money on them tonight. But seriously, yeah, that is nasty. And, and I'm also trying to be as quiet as possible with Facebook because I got like 2 or 3 people that think that I'm available 24/7 on there. And I went off on one person today because they're saying, oh, Phillies need a dome on their stadium so they can play the game. We're men in Philadelphia, okay? We're going to play in the cold. We're going to play in the rain, but because because this is a game that's everybody wants to attend, they're gonna call it way in advance because, oh my God, John Bolaris called for rain. And of course, I wish I kept track of the weather outside, even though I'm about 10 miles from the stadium, so I can give John Bolaris some shit. But 11:18, ladies and gentlemen. That's when I dropped my first curse word tonight. If you had 11:18, congratulations, you are the lucky winner of nothing. Little fun thing I do just to do so. But yeah, that is nasty. I mean, I have sparkling water. Well, I actually have seltzer that I got at the supermarket tonight. I like to have something with a little fizz in it without having to drink soda all the time. And that does it for me after I have my morning coffee because I need to wash that taste out after a while. But yeah, so. But I like to post stupid things on there. But I'm trying to I turned off my messenger on Facebook. But people still IM me. People still post things on there. They still link me with different things. And when they link me up with something, 99% of the time I know about it 12 hours ahead of them. But But I'm kind of laying low on Facebook only because so many. I mean, it just seems like for whatever reason, and maybe somebody can figure this out for me. Somebody explain to me why everybody thinks I'm available 24/7, even when I tell them that I'm working till 7:30. So I don't know, but either way, um, check out my Twitter. Check out my Instagram. Yeah, I usually have people on my Facebook. I have no problem with that. It's just that a couple of people are ruining it for me, and I won't leave Facebook. And the reason why I won't leave Facebook is because I have my high school graduating class. We have a group there, and it's much easier to keep track of everything. So I have that. Um, I have a couple of college friends on there. I got my grade school friends on there, even though, um, I got people from work. I have all these different mini networking groups I have in there, and I don't want. I'm not going to just say bye Facebook. I'd rather just lay low for a while, and if I end up lit up tomorrow because I'm off for the holiday, then so be it. But it's just getting annoying that I get these stupid IMs day after day where people expect me to respond while I'm working. And sorry, I'm not doing it. Um, I mean, if I'm going to respond to something on Facebook, it should be work related, it should be union related, or it should be Bleacher Brothers related. Now, all right, family as well, but not many people in my family talk to me, but that's a story for another day. But you know, just a random hello, I think maybe I'm going overboard with it, but I think I have a point to this because it's like, I'm working and you're still IMing me. Come on. But um, but we'll see what happens with that and everything that goes on here. Um, so I will be back tomorrow. Make sure your notifications are turned on. I know I will be promoting it on Twitter. I'll be promoting it on Facebook, on my Facebook page, on Threads. I will also post it on SJ's Discord, and we'll go from there. So that is definitely something I want to do. So let me just check one thing here. Okay, so I'm going to call it a night tonight, and it was a shorter stream tonight because I didn't have as many stories to go through tonight, but I'm going to upload the video from last night on the YouTube tonight, probably. I'm definitely going to get the podcast out, and it's good seeing you, Bank. It's good seeing GWK. We haven't talked in a while. Good to see. There we go. Good to see GWK. Good to see Don. And good to see everybody here tonight. Good to see everybody yesterday. And we'll do the sidecasting tomorrow. And I'll probably have to create a whole different scene here and go from there. But we're all set for tomorrow. Phillies home opener. And hopefully we start off 1-0. Maybe I'll get dressed up in my Bryce Harper jersey or maybe my John Kruk jersey. And I wear my John Kruk jersey because I'm up a ball on him. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And check out Bleacher Brothers for all your sports needs. And check that betting tab. Scroll down to the bottom. If you're looking to open an account, use one of our links there, and we get a cut of the from the promotion. And but always bet within your means. That's the one thing I will tell you. If you have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. Even though I try to tell you more on a personal level than just saying 1-800-GAMBLER. So, always bet within your means. Make sure your bills are paid in advance. It's okay to not having money. Well, it's okay not having money for gambling when there's more important things you can spend it on, like your family, your bills, and everything like that. So, but that is it. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Bank Boy, once again, thank you so much. DWK, Don, and everybody watching after the fact here. And I will be live tomorrow afternoon starting at, about 2:45, 2:50. And we'll talk some Phillies baseball for the first time this year. And maybe it'll be a random event thing that I'll do over the course of the season. So I know we were talking some things about Phillies baseball in our after show meeting on Tuesday night. So I'm not going to go into that too much right now. But thank you so much for joining me. And I will catch you tomorrow afternoon. Go Phils. See you tomorrow. Have a great